Hello everyone and welcome to VLGA Connect from the newsroom, as we do each week at this time, with the CEO, Kathryn Arndt. Hi Kathryn.
Hi Chris, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. It's another reasonably lovely day in Melbourne as we're getting further deeper into winter.
A little birdie landed on my shoulder and whispered in my ear that it's a more lovely day than normal for you because it might be a special day of some sort. Am I right?
You are right, it is my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
We might see if our editing whiz can give us some special birthday balloons.
Oh, that would be lovely. Or champagne even would be even nicer.
Do you know, Kathryn, it's 3 months to the day since we did our first VLGA Connect.
I believe it is 25th of March was when we kicked off, and it's three months. 12 weeks of, what are we up to now? Episode 60?
67, I think, this one.
Yes,
Give or
extraordinary.
Take.
And the feedback has been tremendous, daily feedback. The sector officers, counsellors, people who are outside of the sector but in related sort of areas have all indicated that it's something they look forward to, particularly the diversity of the speakers we have on. The Steve Cooper Governance Grill is something a lot of the sector, of course, wait for with bated breath every week, and continues to entertain as well, which is an added bonus.
Look, I did say somewhat flippantly to Steve on this week's governance update that it was the flagship show for VLGA Connect, but really it's the newsroom, Kathryn. This is the flagship show.
Oh, look, well, we can only hope, and it would be even better if we could have a tune at the end, but unfortunately we've given up on that, but that's okay.
I think you've got to give away your aspirations of being a DJ, perhaps pursue it in some
maybe another life, perhaps.
Indeed. Quite seriously, a big week in terms of a new local government minister now being appointed and known, and I'm sure you've reached out as a peak body to welcome Sean Lean to the role.
We certainly have. We've passed on our congratulations to the new minister and certainly look forward to meeting with him as soon as possible on behalf of our members, the sector, and also to hear what his priorities are for the local government sector. Of course, we appreciate that with a new minister coming in, that LGV perhaps is now a little behind on some of the briefings, and some of the issues the sector have been waiting for answers on, such as mandatory candidate training. We are, of course, waiting with anticipation for the electoral regulations to come out, and hopefully any time soon they will be with us.
Indeed, yes. I think important to realise that it will take some time for the new minister to come up to speed with the whole range of issues that are awaiting his attention at the moment. The Federation, Resetting Federation, I think it's called, is an interesting forum that you've been invited to participate in. Kathryn, tell me about that.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. That's at 12:30 today. It was something being run by CEDA, and it has the Honourable John Brumby, AO, Jennifer Menzies, who's an academic at Griffith University, and Melinda Salento, really looking at resetting the Federation for recovery and reform. We're very interested to hear what their observations are about local government not having a seat on COAG anymore, or I guess COAG not really existing anymore, but let's wait and see what that might look like. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and perhaps we can have a chat about that next week in the newsroom.
Yes, that would be good, because I've seen in a number of forums this issue of local government representation at that federal level, perhaps an opportunity missed. So if there's some way to pick that up in other ways, that would be good to see.
I think it's very important, and it's something the VLGA has been reaching out to ALGA to talk about with the sector. So we look forward, of course, to hearing from them as to how they might progress that national advocacy.
It's been M Week for the VLGA, because I know you've had candidate information sessions at Macedon Ranges and Maribyrnong this week, and your local Women Leading Change program heads to Mildura on the weekend.
Yes, it's been the Triple M week of training. And more candidate training underway. The local Women Leading Change programs and workshop, of course, are continuing. I think there's regular workshops all throughout, well, being delivered virtually, but all access from our members throughout the state, and also our candidate information workshops. Of course, just as I said earlier, waiting for the mandatory candidate training
Yes.
regs to come out.
I think it bears repeating that the sessions to date have been information workshops for those who want to know more about the role of councillor and perhaps part of their preparation and thinking before the election period comes around proper. But it's not the mandatory training that they will be required to complete if they wish to nominate as a candidate. And as you say, we're waiting to see the prescribed training, but mid-July, I think, is what it was mooted as a start date for the delivery of those training sessions.
That's right, Chris. The 13th of July was the date that Local Government Victoria had indicated. And I think, as we've reported before on this program, the VLGA and other providers will certainly be able to deliver that mandatory training once it's available and provided to the council on the council's behalf.
So a quick look ahead, Kathryn, the special episodes of VLGA Connect with the live audience in a panel have really been resonating of late. And I do notice that some of the sessions we did, weeks and weeks ago are still being watched and being shared by social media, etc. This one coming up on Monday on deliberative engagement, it just seems to me it's going to set a new record. We're already at around 120 registrants, and there is capacity for people to still sign on to join us on Monday afternoon. It really is a sign that it's a hot topic for local government at the moment.
It is, and certainly now with the Local Government Act including requirement for community engagement, and therefore I think that this topic, this conversation, and some of the tools and resources that will come from the speakers on the panel will be really useful for the sector, and hence the interest. But as you said, we've upgraded our Zoom account, so there's opportunity for more people to register if they'd like to, but 116, as you said, is an indication of the interest.
Yes, with a few days to go. Now, I think part of that interest is we have Brett Hennig from Budapest, who is the co-founder of the Sortition Foundation. Part of it might be people just want to know what sortition is, but it's that process of representative democratic panel information gathering, etc. And Kimbra White, co-founder of Mosaic Lab, who've done a lot of deliberative engagement processes for councils in Victoria over recent years. So we really do have some expert practitioners to talk about how you can go about meeting these new legislative needs.
Yes, and in our conversation with Kimbra the other day, it really captured for me how important it is for the sector to be considering the higher level principles of community engagement, participatory engagement, without necessarily going to the extent of citizens' juries or very prescriptive mechanisms, which of course the Act doesn't prescribe. It's more around what suits each community and each council. So
tell me about Women at the Table. That's another big event coming up next week for you.
Yes, it is. We've got over 100 participants registered for that event, which is happening on the 1st of July. So if you'd like to find out more, have a look at our website. But that is really part of our local Women Leading Change program, but it is an extension of that. So it's working with the local women's health networks. In particular, this is the Loddon Mallee region, to talk to women in the community about leadership and in particular opportunities for them to consider standing for local government. So we've got a terrific panel there. We've got Ali Cupper MP, Kate Burke, who's the Managing Director of Think Agri, Jessie Holmes, who's the CEO of Yarriambiack Shire Council, and Tricia Curry, who is the CEO of Women's Health Loddon Mallee, will be the moderator. So again, it's looking to be a terrifically well attended. Now,
the other hot topic of the week, of course, has been COVID-19 and the second wave, as they are calling it. You're not in one of those hotspot suburbs, Kathryn?
No, touch wood, I don't believe so. What about you, Chris?
Oh no, far from it. And you know, honestly, I've been virtually nowhere for 3 months, so happy to still be pretty much in self-isolation.
Yes, it's well, we must be almost beyond 12 weeks now of the restrictions, but clearly they've worked. So
Yeah.
I think as the government is doing, we would also urge people to just follow the guidelines of the Chief Health Officer.
Absolutely, and stay safe. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, Kathryn. Great to speak as always. Looking forward to another big week for the VLGA and VLGA Connect, especially Monday afternoon for our deliberative engagement live panel. Look forward to seeing you there.
See you then, Chris.
That's another edition of the Newsroom, brought to you each week from VLGA Connect.